Lian has another beautiful case just on the horizon. This is the PC-05S, and it's an ITX case, Mini-ITX. It's quite a bit bigger than most of the ITX cases out there as far as the actual height, or if you lay this in on the table, I guess the width of the case goes. So as you can immediately see, this is all aluminum, and it features a large piece of reinforced glass all the way across the front, so all your components can be seen. What they've done with the PCI Express is they've mounted it down in the bottom of the case, and that allows you to display almost your PCI Express card. Plus it keeps the case nice and slim. So you put your PCI Express on the bottom, and you know, there it is. It looks really pretty and everything, and it plugs into a PCI Express 16-speed slot that is built into the case. There's a ribbon that runs behind the motherboard tray and then over, so it will plug into your motherboard. So that's one of the most unique features. We're seeing this on a lot of Steam boxes and various slim cases out there. And this is the only case I've seen with a large, glass window that allows you to look in and see all your components. Now, the maximum size for a graphics card in this, it's not huge, but you can fit up to 190 millimeter GPUs. So we have in there the Sapphire. So in there we have the R9 285 from Sapphire. That fits just fine in there. It's the ITX edition. Make sure you get the ITX edition. Also, the ITX edition 970 from Gigabyte will fit in there. It's probably the fastest card that you can get right now that will actually fit into this system. One thing that is a bit rough, if you have an ITX graphics card or a small graphics card, and the power is on the back of the graphics card instead of on the top, you may have a few issues with the placement of the hard drive cage. However, you can remove the hard drive cage, and there's other spots to mount hard drives in the system, and we'll get to those as we cover everything. You can remove everything. On the top, there's a spot here where you can mount two 120 millimeter fans. This entire piece comes off for easy installation. I love how modular everything is. It's completely ridiculous. You can take off every little piece. So the top comes off. You can put your fans in there. It comes with two 120s pre-installed, and they've got cages on top of them, or I guess grills on top of them, not cages. You can fit, like I said, a radiator up there in order to get to the dust filter. Kind of a pain, but that's just the way it is. There's another dust filter behind where your motherboard's going to go, and in order to get to that one, you're going to have to remove some stuff as well. You can mount a 140 or a 120 right there, right behind where your motherboard is going to go. In order to get to any of these dust filters, you're going to have to turn a few screws. The dimensions on this unit are 478 millimeters tall by 443 millimeters from front to back, and then 178 millimeters across. Now I've got this standing up. They've included a really nice stand. There's some like a rubber strip on either side of the stand so that you can stand it up like this without worrying about it teetering. Here on my desk it's just kind of chilling, but we did put the stand on there. If you don't do that, they do include some feet that you guys can put on the bottom here and lay it down sideways. All right, let's look at the front of the case here, going down the front here. So the first thing you'll see is there's a slim DVD drive there, and that slim DVD drive can be modified to do all kinds of things. You can put a 2.5-inch drive or a 3.5-inch drive in there, and there's so many different places to mount things. You may be able to figure out how to get even more in there. Right beneath that, you got your power switch, all your multimedia stuff, and of course 2 USB 3.0 ports right there. All right, let's take a look at the power supply bracket here. Now, this is a bit strange in my opinion. It takes an SFX power supply. Those don't generate much heat, but they can. And it mounts, you can mount it either way you want. You can mount it with the fan down or the fan facing the glass in the case like they have in their pictures on their website. It seems like it's going to be moving some hot air around into the system, but I feel like the placement on that is a little strange, but it does have a nice aesthetic to it, and there are plenty of vents here for the hot air to escape. Just make sure that you have proper ventilation otherwise, but keep an eye on the temperatures under the hood. Then on the bottom right, you see the spot where we have the hard drive caddies, and that'll support three 3.5-inch drives. If you want to use 2.5-inch drives or something, you're gonna have to go out and get some sleds, or some of the drives come with sleds, like this one here from OCZ. I think Kingston has the same thing, but they've included this little sled here. So as long as your SSD has some sleds like this, you'll be able to mount it in there without any problems at all. It would have been nice to see 2.5-inch drives. I mean, 3.5-inch drives are cool, but give us some sleds or something, man. On the bottom there, that's where you're going to be putting your your graphics card. or whatever else. You know, PCI Express, you can put a RAID card in there. I'm not sure why you would, because there's not a lot of places to put hard drives, but you know, you can put it down there. And then we have 4 expansion slots in the back, and that's kind of interesting because, you know, some motherboards, they've got serial ports that have those brackets that you plug into the motherboard and then put the bracket in the back, or extra USB ports, you know, you can put that in the back or whatever. So it's kind of cool to have a few extra options there. If you decide you're not going to be using any of those hard drives, well, you can remove that entire cage and then you can fit some larger graphics cards in there. Now, when you turn the system around to the back, you can actually easily access everything in the back just by removing a few screws. So you remove those screws and the entire back panel, there's like a piece of aluminum, nice brushed aluminum, it just comes right off. And then from there you have access to everything in the back. On the back there's plenty of room for cable routing, but there's also room to mount some more hard drives. You can mount one 3.5 and one 2.5 inch drive, or two 2.5 inch drives back there. There's like a little tray back there that mounts, and again, everything is removable. You can take that off, you can mod it, you can play around with it. There's just so much that you can do with all of that. So I mean, that's pretty much it. When I first looked at it, I was like, wow, there's a lot to cover here, but really there's not. It's just super modular. There's probably a million things that you can do with this that I haven't even thought of yet because I haven't done a build in this. So I'm sure once I, put together a few things in here, I'll be like, oh, this is a good idea. I didn't even know you could do that. If you're someone who's going to buy this and put it in the floor, don't buy it. This needs to be on display. This needs to be on your desk. It needs to be on the table. It needs to be somewhere where people can come in and be like, whoa, that is a really pretty system. It's not going to be quiet. There may be some dust coming in. There are some large seams here. So make sure you keep it clean. Every 6 months at least. I usually do 3 months on these things. Make sure you keep it clean, run quiet and cool components, and then you'll be okay. If you're running loud and noisy components and you've got it on your desk, it's probably not going to be that much fun. This is reinforced glass here on the front. This is not plastic or plexiglass or anything like that. It is tough. It's a nice, tough piece of glass. It's tinted, so it does have a nice look to it. You can also get some optional LED strips from Lian and put them in there to, give it a nice glow, and I think that looks pretty cool. I don't have any of those currently on hand, but yeah. One thing I want to say is we got this all the way from Taiwan. Lian sent it to us, ahead of time so we could take a look at it. And somewhere in shipping, we got the box in, and the box was like, it looked like someone hit the box with a sledgehammer. And I was like, this is not going to be good. And when I opened it up, the glass was just powder. It was just everywhere. So there's actually still some glass. If you guys in the video saw some sparkly bits, no, we did not cover this in glitter. It actually had glass all over it. So this is our replacement panel here. I don't think you'll be having those kind of issues if you're ordering, and it's shipping from somewhere domestically. But shipping all the way overseas, you never know. And, this is not as strong as aluminum or steel. So there's always a chance that, things could be bumped in shipping. But one last thing I want to mention, they've included several accessories in the box. Lots of screws, tie downs, PC speaker. There are several wire mount little things. I don't know what you call them. You stick them to your case and you run the wires through them. It just allows you to position exactly where your cable management's going to go and exactly where you want your choke points to be. I'm glad they included those. Those are really handy. The last thing they've done for aesthetics, again, is they've included this interesting hard drive cage cover plate. And the cover plate actually screws into whatever hard drive is mounted in the top right here. So it screws onto the top. It's a nice brushed aluminum and it's black, and it looks really nice, matches the system. So you guys can put that there and cover up those ugly hard drives, because that'll be the one thing that when you look at this from the front, the ugliest part of this entire thing will be those hard drives right there in the front. Unless you have some really ugly, goofy stickers on your SFX power supply, or you're running a terribly ugly motherboard, but don't do those things and everything will be fine. So again, if you want something that's aesthetics forward, really clean, good quality building materials, super modular, this is an interesting way to go. If you want something quiet, dust-free, not really flashy, something you're going to hide in the floor and have tons of hard drives in, not the way to go. It's a Lian, it's a quality product. I do quite enjoy it, and I would like to build something in it. All right, if you guys have any questions, put them in the forum. Thanks to all the tech support members. You guys are really, really helping us out, helping keep us alive and afloat. So thanks very much. Tech support's right over there if you guys want to check it out. And lots of new items in the store. So check all those out as well. We'll see you guys next time.